How to be in control of your life. Hello friends, this video goes out to you if you are in a position where you feel like you're out of control, like you're not in control of things. You know, the chaos of life is just too much, you know, either you're not in control of your habits, you can't be in control of yourself personally, maybe you feel like you're not in control of your career, maybe you're working with a team full of people and you don't have any control over them and they're making bad decisions and it's driving you crazy. You know, consider the ways in which you are not in control of things and the extent to which it bugs you and the extent to which it makes you feel like you're just hitting your head against a wall constantly just being served more difficulties to undo and obstacles to overcome. We're going to look at the very basic nature of control and how to find a particular switch in you that we can flip so that you can go from being out of control to being in control. So that's what I want to explore with you today. If this is our first time meeting, it's great to meet you. My name is Brent. I coach people to become productive and self-actualized. And if you're interested in this and this type of topic matter, you can see links for that below. And if you'd also hit the like button to indicate your interest, that would also be good. So in order to get into this conversation, we have to start with an understanding of what is meant by control, because there's kind of a right and wrong way to understand it. When I talk about control, I'm not talking about controlling life or really controlling anything. Just take a minute to feel the difference between the phrase controlling life and being in control of life. There's sort of a strange difference between what seem like almost identical phrases, right? And so what we're not doing here is talking about how to control anything. And I guess my first statement of this video, the first thing that I want to really establish here, is that you can't control anything. There is nothing that you can control with 100% precision. And this is because there's nothing in life that submits to control, whether it's your work, whether it's your home, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your own behavior, whether it's, I don't know, name it. Like there's just no, whether it's science even, like to create a rigorous scientific experiment, say a physics experiment, where everything is controlled, you'll find that there's always an element of that experiment, if it's done in the world, not theoretically, but done in the world, that cannot be perfectly brought under control, because that's just the nature of the beast. There's always a chaotic, unknown element about any element of life that we interface with, and so this is something for us to accept. And yet, we can also talk about being in control. And what does that mean? To be in control refers to, say you are getting ready to cross the Atlantic in one of these Christopher Columbus wooden ships, you know, like these old, like imagine these old wooden big ships, right? You know, could we say that a person crossing the ocean in one of these ships, it's like 100% going to turn out fine? No, but what we can say is that a person is in control. You know, they may say, I got it. I've done this before. I know how to navigate. I know how to interface with different risks, different emergencies that could come up. I know how to make intelligent decisions. I know how to run a crew. And the risk of death or of catastrophe never comes all the way down to zero, but it comes close enough to zero that the expedition is warranted. The juice is worth the squeeze. And so what I'm suggesting is that you and I can find ourselves in a position of being in control where we are essentially in a leadership position over what happens. We are basically in a deciding position around what happens. And even though we're interfacing with a chaotic element of the world, a chaotic element of the unknown, we still navigate through. And we stay in a place of determination until we reach wherever it is that we're going. This is the essence of being in control. So, where do we go from here? Check my notes real quick. Cool. So, In order to proceed into this, if you're sold and you want to really discuss how to move into a place of control, God damn it, what was it again? Sheesh. Oh yeah. So this is a basic decision that you make. The first thing that we must establish around being in control is that as I speak to you now, you don't come into this conversation as a blank slate. You already have a decision, or rather you have a belief around how much control is possible for you. You perhaps believe that you are not in control of your life and that you can't be. Or maybe you believe that you could be more in control than you are, but you just haven't figured it out just yet. And what I want to establish here, this is the next established claim that I want to make for you, is that the extent to which you are in control is a direct result of your beliefs. What you believe about your ability to be in control will dictate that reality. Whatever you believe comes true. And once you see completely the arbitrary nature of these two beliefs, how you could go either one way or the other, and how as far as anybody else is concerned, it's just up to you. And once you see that whatever belief you decide on and commit to will create itself as a reality for you to later verify, then you will see that it's truly arbitrary and you can choose deliberately. If you do not see the arbitrary nature of this choice, then you will think that one choice has reality over the other. So here's what I mean. Almost certainly, if you're listening this far, it means you don't feel like you're in control of your life. And if I say to you, hey, just switch out that belief for the belief that you're in control, you'd say, well, Brent, that sounds nice. I like that as an idea, but I don't think I can get myself there. I don't think I can make myself believe it. Because the reality of the situation is that I've never been in control my whole life. And so you can see the preferential way you use this word reality. But what you're not referring to is actual reality. What you are referring to is your creation. My suggestion to you is that you are a powerful creator of your existence and that you create with your imagination. And you create so seamlessly and powerfully that you can create limitation for you to exist inside of, for you to dwell inside of, and to do it so convincingly that you can forget that you're doing it. If I say this to you, it'll hit its mark if you feel irritated. There's an irritating element about this kind of thing where I tell you about your creatorship. And for good reason, because there's an implication here that maybe some of your limitation, maybe a large degree of the limitation that you've been experiencing for so long has been self-generated. And what do you do with that kind of information? It's not so nice to hear and to consider. And so therefore, the strength of your determination to find control is what will dictate what happens. Do you want to kick yourself over wasted time, or would you like to move into a place of control as quickly as you possibly can? What's the priority here? Because if you're willing to move into a place of control, then this is done by seeing that either belief is arbitrary and choosing deliberately. So choose now. Choose that it must be possible for you to be in control, to be basically, foundationally in control of your shit. Now we can progress into a slightly more practical way of coming at this. Choice. I want you to equate choice with power and power with control and control with choice. I want you to see them as almost like a triangle of meaning. In our conversation, they mean the same thing. Where, for example, if you are in a roller coaster, you have no choice. And as a result, you have no power. And as a result, you have no control. You are out of control. And your basic decision is whether or not to freak out while you're on the roller coaster or to intentionally move with it, to intentionally be in that experience. Another example would be to play a game such as Chutes and Ladders versus chess. Chutes and Ladders being a dice rolling game where you just go up a board to the top square and there's no choice whatsoever. You just roll the dice. You have no influence whatsoever on the outcome of the game. There's no control in this game. And as a result, you're just watching it play out. Whereas chess is completely choice-based. So therefore, reclaiming your sense of choice, stepping into a psychology of choice, is to find power, is to find control. And the very first choice that you can make is to be in your situation. This is kind of a paradox, and stick with me here, because it will come off to you perhaps as hair splitting or as a not very significant thing, like almost like we're just playing with words. But inside this playing with words is something incredibly important, something that was lost a long time ago. Just like when you're in the roller coaster and let's say you're freaking out, your choice does not presently lie in whether or not you can be in the roller coaster. That is done. It's done. Either way, regardless of what you want, you're in that roller coaster. That's done. Your choice is the intention or lack of intention that you bring into the situation. Can you choose to be there? Are you being forced against your will into this situation? Or are you willing to be in this situation? Because if you're willing to be in this situation, then something important has shifted. And the shift cannot be observed from an outside perspective. You wouldn't see it from the perspective of a camera. It's a very subtle, incredibly personal and intimate shift that has happened. But you've made the first movement towards being in control, which is to declare that you're willing to be where you are. So look at your own situation and look at the areas where you're unwilling to be where you are, or you're unwilling for things to be how they are. What are you unwilling to be? And reverse that and bring your intention to it. Bring your willingness to it. Will for it to be as it is. This will actually feel a little bit scary maybe. And the reason why it would feel scary is because on some level, you actually believe that your resistance against what is actually offers you some form of power. That's why you'd be unwilling to give it up. Do you see? But hopefully if I put it this way, if I show it to you in this light, you'll see that your resistance offers you no power, just the illusion of power. Power is found through the choosing of reality to be as it is, the willing, the intending of reality to be as it is now. Not forever, but now. So that's the first thing. Now there's actually a part two. We can take this concept of choice and take it even further. Where if you want to find a place of control, you now look at the options that are available to you. And let's again take this example of you being in a working situation. You're stuck with a job that you need the money, but you can't seem to get away from it. And so you feel like you're forced into a reality, like you're imprisoned by your reality in a way that drives you crazy. If it's your desire to reclaim your power, and you've already done step one, which is to choose reality as it is, the next step is to choose the correct opportunity. And notice I say the word opportunity because I want you to view your choices as opportunity. And this is not playing with words again. This is something more than that. So your option, your choice, is to either go to work or not go to work. And if you say, Brent, I don't have the choice not to go to work. I don't have that luxury. I have to because I need money. I would say, no, you don't need money. You don't need anything. You might say, well, no, I have to pay rent. Otherwise I won't have shelter. I need to buy food. Otherwise I can't eat. And I want you to go so radical with this. I want to flip this so deeply that even having a roof over your head and having food in your mouth and having anything, even air in your lungs, I would like for you to see that as choice, as something that you choose to do. And so when you go to work in the morning, I want you to remove from your thinking any ideas that you're being forced to do it by anyone, even by yourself. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Even if somebody's forcibly pushing you to do something, whether or not you comply with it, and they're threatening you, say, whether or not you comply with it is still a choice. It's a radical, radical way of viewing it. It's choice. Now, what makes this so important is that when you make this basic decision, and just to go through what we've done already, you've chosen that you can be in control of things. Number one. Number two, you chose reality as it presents itself now. And then number three, you are recognizing that you're recognizing choice where it presently is, even if it doesn't feel like it. What this now means is that you are entering into a psychology of choice. You have empowered yourself. You empower yourself by finding the power that is here to be had now. Now, what happens if you do this for several days, several weeks, several months? Because you are now oriented, your psychology now is trained, it's entrained on choice and on power, more choice comes to you. And with more choice comes better choice. With more opportunity comes better opportunity. See, in a place of powerlessness, what we're always saying is, I don't want this or that. What I want is opportunity C that contains all of the best parts of A and B and none of the negative parts of A and B. I want the perfect blending of the two. And we feel shortchanged that we don't have it. We feel like we always have to trade off in one way or another. But now all we're doing is just simply looking for the best opportunity and constantly trading up one lesser opportunity for one better one. Just constantly improving and making better. And there will be a runaway effect as you do this. And so you can see now how important it is to choose the context that you operate from, the psychology that you operate from, because just as before, when we say you're operating from a place of powerlessness, you are given more instances of powerlessness. But to operate from a basic place of power and of being in control, more opportunity comes this way. The final piece is the most practical piece, which is for you to actually create success. So I went into this in great detail in the video that just came before this, but I've since then revised it into a formula that I'm going to briefly outline for you here. The formula goes possibility, intention, belief, and action as a feedback loop. So very briefly, start with possibility. So in addition to what opportunity is available now, I want you to create a new category of opportunity by asking, what is possible for me? What can I do? Like if I were to really get my shit together, if I were really in control, what could I possibly do? What could I make? Where could I go? What big, bold decisions I can make? And choose a possibility space that appeals to you and decide that it must indeed be possible. Drive a stake in there. Make this something that is true regardless of how you feel going forward. Number two, intention. Now with possibility established, issue an intention to make this possibility come true. It's not that you are going to control this, but it's that you are in control. You say, I intend to make this possibility come true. I intend to keep at it until it comes true. It's my intention to make it come true. And notice the feeling tone, the feeling quality that comes when you issue an intention. If you do it correctly, it feels kind of invigorating and scary. Number three is belief. Belief is when you hold a frame that you can in fact do this. So whereas possibility and intention were the launching pad, belief is what you keep open the whole way through as the intention further establishes and entrenches itself in your psychology. And then fourth, finally, is action, where you ask yourself, what is the most intelligent thing that I could possibly do to make this thing happen? And knowing full well that what is being asked of you to do will likely move you out of your comfort zone, and that this is okay. It's okay to be moved out of your comfort zone because you are creating a form of success that you never have done before, so it will necessitate new movements, new action, new experience. And the survival mechanism of the mind does not like new experience. So create success for yourself using this formula. Stick with it. Do it constantly on loop. Move back to possibility again, and then back to intention, and double down on intention. Double down on belief. Double down on action. Triple down on possibility. Triple down on intention, etc., etc., etc. Keep going. If you stick with this very simple formula, you will create success and you will be in control of your life. You will remember your authorship over your situation. I wish you well. Again, if you're interested in working one-on-one to see how I can help you integrate this lesson into your life in the quickest and most efficient way, give me a holler. You can get a free coaching overview session where we'll talk it over and you can see if it's up your alley or not. Please hit like, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.